Did you know there are 1 million books in the world, but they wouldn't even exist if we had no imagination? But what is an imagination? An imagination is a part of your brain that lets you create, invent, and solve problems. For example, if Alexander Graham Bell had no imagination, we would have no electricity or telephones, and we would be sitting in a cold, dark room right now. In Mary Anderson's imagination would be windshield wipers, and in Albert Einstein's would be space and gravity. But if they had no imagination, yet again, the human race would not be the same. But sadly, some people's imaginations are getting worse and worse because they're constantly on their phones playing games, and they could have already invented hovercars or wrote a book. Guess what? Our imagination is the only thing that separates us from all the mammals in the animal kingdom. Our imagination is on our right side of our brain, and all the other uses, like logic, are on our left. Most scientists name the imagination the brain's creative space. Usually in imaginations are unicorns or spaceships, but nowadays, Minecraft, or even worse, texting, is replacing the imagination. All 7.349 billion people around the world have an imagination, but some choose not to use it. Some people decide to shut down their imagination, and some people decide to just ignore it altogether. Some technology may be weakening our imagination and stopping children from playing, but some technology helps us learn. Maybe we can make our imagination stronger by creating new technology. So maybe it's better that our imaginations are used to create technology after all. But there are some other ways to make your imagination stronger, and here is one. First, grab a piece of paper. Second, grab a pencil. Third, draw an object. Fourth, write about that object. Finally, come up with a joke to go with it. Imaginations also allow you to create images in your mind. For example, you might hear the word kiwi, and in your mind you might picture a fluffy brown flightless bird that is native to New Zealand. But if you have never seen one before, then you might picture something else like a brown mole. Did you know the word imagination means mental image in Latin? Imaginations are also like seeing with your eyes, except it is in your head and you can't reach out and touch it. You can also use your imagination to create jokes. For example, what type of dog tells the time? A watchdog. You see, even the simplest things need an imagination. Our imaginations also create dreams. Bad dreams are called nightmares, and good dreams are called, well, dreams. I wonder why dreams don't have another name, so there you go, another thing you could do to make your imagination stronger. Names of things also come from your imagination, like dark, grumpy, happy, sleepy, bashful, sneezy, and dopey. The name of the 7 dwarfs from Snow White, and the writer had to come up with all those names. Imagine looking at a character, and then creating its personality, and then finally creating a name that suits the character. When children play, their imagination gets stronger, and will encourage them to create things when they play, like making up a game that they could play with their brother or sister. When I was little, I would make up a game that my brother and I could play, even if it meant that I was always the boss. And we still make up games and play, just like when we were younger. So let your imagination run wild.